So my campaigns are still pretty new, but I'm sure there are some things that I can optimize. Today I'm going to jump into my ad manager and see what changes I can make to improve my campaigns. I'll share my screen with you guys and I'll explain exactly the changes I made and why I decided to make them. So I'm in my ad manager here and I'm going to go through a few of the changes that I made early on in my campaign. Again, there's still a lot to learn, but I also kept a Google Sheet here of all the different notes, the actions that I took, and the reasons why I did those. So if anyone wants that, just comment below. Happy to share that Google Sheet with everyone, and I'll continue to update this along the way of everything that I learn. So the first campaign I'm going to jump into is the first campaign that I launched. So it's my top of funnel campaign, and this was the first ad set that I had launched down here. So let's jump into that. And I analyzed a few different things, but there's one thing that stood out to me in particular. So these ad sets the placements were both Instagram and Facebook. And I went in here into the breakdown and I took a look at the age of people who my ads were being served to. And what I realized is actually, you can see right here, it goes up in age as it goes down, that my ads were actually being served to a lot of people in the younger demographic. The most was 18 to 24, then it kind of went decreasing from there. And what I realized is that I thought because I had an Instagram placement that most of the people who are younger are on Instagram. So I made the change to turn off this campaign and actually create a campaign using only the Facebook placement to see if that changed these numbers. And the reason for that is that someone who's 18 to 24 or probably even 25 to 34 is not really likely to be in the motivated seller category. 18 to 24, they either don't have a property that they own or they just bought it, so the chance of them being a motivated seller is low. 25 to 34, maybe we get a few people on the higher end of that, but overall, we would like to kind of serve these ads to people who would be most likely to be motivated sellers. But with Facebook's ad restrictions around housing and the special campaign categories, we're not able to pick an age range. So we kind of have to work around it this way. And you'll see what I did is I switched to, you can see the two ad sets here. So this is the one I had turned off. And you can see that there was a large percentage of people here. I turned it off pretty early, who were in the younger age range. And I switched it to a Facebook only placement. And it's still getting to some people who are in the younger age range, but at least 18 to 24 is not the oldest, not the heaviest being served right now. So we are getting more towards the older end. So not perfect, and I'll see if I can tweak some things later to make other adjustments to that, but that was something quick that I noticed. Another change I kind of made early on, and I'll get rid of this breakdown here for that, is I was curious, as I was retargeting people who would watch videos for 10 seconds or more, I was curious if some people who would watch a video for less, maybe 3 seconds, were kind of interested, but hadn't watched it for 10 seconds. So I made this other campaign here called Middle of Funnel Retargeting Video Views. And essentially what this campaign does is my goal is to convert people who watched the video for 3 seconds into people who would watch a video for 10 seconds, and then we would try to generate leads from them. So this one I'm still testing out. If I go here under the breakdowns, video engagement, I'm getting 10-second video views at about 8 cents, so it's still a little bit high. So I'm only running $1 a day on this, so I'm going to see how this one works out. But if we actually open the ad set itself, we can go in here and we can see the audience that I'm targeting is video watchers 7, 3 seconds, right? So I'm only giving people a week to convert from a 3-second video watcher to a 10-second video watcher. So I don't want to continue to waste money on them 30 days down the line if they haven't watched 10 seconds of a video by then. In my opinion, it's still a theory, but they're probably not super motivated. So you can see I'm targeting only people who watch videos for 3 seconds, and I have a lot of exclusions here, but the important exclusion is people who've watched the video for 10 seconds. Because once they've watched it for 10 seconds, I don't need to convert them to 10-second video watchers anymore. I don't want to continue serving them this ad. So another thing that I noticed is I'm running this middle of funnel lead generation campaign. So that's an on Facebook lead generation campaign. And initially I tried using videos here, and I tried a dynamic creative ad, which we'll get into in another video, for to try to generate these on Facebook leads. And what I realized is that I was actually doing a lot better if I looked at it. We break it down by performance and clicks. My cost per a click was a lot lower for the images retargeting, surprisingly, than it was for the video. So I turned off the video for now. Maybe I need to do a little more creative testing around those videos. Maybe they weren't resonating with people who had already gotten into this campaign from another campaign. But for now, the images seem to be performing better. I still don't have any leads on them, so there's not really a good indicator. I think this campaign probably needs a lot of work overall. But one thing that I'm really focusing on now is I gotta get the audience built. So the top of funnel campaign, I really need to get more people into this audience to really effectively test it. You can see that it's only reached 390 people, so it's hard to draw any real conclusions from that. So I'm not too focused on this now, but I noticed this early on. I'm certainly going to play around with different videos, testing those later. It may end up converting better, but for now it seemed like, in this campaign at least, that the video was not the winner. The one last thing that I noticed is I had initially had the retargeting lead generation campaign at $2 a day. Facebook was forcing me to do that because I had 2 ad sets, so it let me lower it now that I only have 1 ad set. And I had lowered this to $1 because actually you can see my frequency here, which is the amount of times the average person sees your ads, is almost 11. And that's a pretty high frequency. So I didn't see the point of spending more money just to get in front of those people even more. I actually think this frequency is probably even a bit too high right now, but that's something I'm going to work on later. But definitely don't need to push this number any higher than it currently is. So those are the initial changes that I made in the campaign. Again, if you want me to share you on this Google Sheet, let me know. I'm happy to post that. Just let me know in the comments. And I'm going to continue to update this. So every few days I go in and optimize my campaigns and make new learnings. Obviously you won't be able to see the Facebook campaign itself, but I'll give the reasons as well as a campaign name. And I'm going to continue to create these videos so you can cross-reference them and see which works in your market and see what doesn't.